Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, once celebrated as the most electrifying man in sports entertainment and later crowned Hollywood's most bankable star, is now caught in a storm of exposure and backlash. For years, audiences believed in the carefully polished image of a humble, hard-working, larger-than-life hero. But one by one, the cracks have begun to show, and behind the smile, fans are discovering a very different man. He has been accused of arrogance, dishonesty, and obsession with control. The Rock isn't just losing fans, he's losing credibility. What was once considered the perfect blend of charisma and authenticity is now being revealed as a brand so meticulously crafted that it no longer feels real. And today, audiences are beginning to realize that the man they once admired may have already entered a downfall with no end in sight. This collapse didn't begin in Hollywood, it began in the very arena that made him famous. Before his acting career, Dwayne Johnson was a titan in the WWE, boasting 8 championship reigns and carrying the company as one of its biggest stars. Yet even during his prime, the reception wasn't as glorious as it looked on paper. Every time he stepped back into the ring in later years, boos echoed through arenas, and his surprise returns often caused disappointment instead of excitement. Online, it was even worse. Dislikes piled up, memes circulated, and fans accused him of stealing the spotlight from younger stars. The tension reached a boiling point at WrestleMania 40, when the long-awaited storyline between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, a match fans had invested in for over a year, was suddenly hijacked by The Rock's involvement. At 51 years old, he inserted himself into the main event as if his presence alone was more important than years of storytelling. To fans, this wasn't entertainment, it was ego. A comment left online summed up the frustration. "Trust me, this isn't sour grapes, but the fact that Dwayne is in the main event of WrestleMania and I'm not makes me sick." That wasn't written by just any fan. That was CM Punk, one of wrestling's most iconic figures. The backlash was immediate. WWE uploaded a segment featuring The Rock, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes to YouTube in February 2024. It became the most disliked video in WWE's history. 54,000 dislikes against 4.6 million views, a record that spoke volumes about how far the once beloved superstar had fallen in the eyes of his own fanbase. But wrestling fans weren't the only ones to notice his transformation. On Instagram, where The Rock speaks to nearly 400 million followers, people began to catch on to a strange pattern. He was recycling lies. In 2017, he posted a photo claiming it was his first time ever at In-N-Out. 5 years later, in 2022, he repeated the exact same statement, saying he had never been there before. And then, almost unbelievably, in December 2023, he made the claim a third time, insisting it was his first In-N-Out experience. 3 different first times in just 7 years. For a celebrity of his scale, whose life is documented and dissected every day, this wasn't forgetfulness. It was carelessness. Fans quickly caught on, mocking him for recycling the same fabricated story to appear more relatable. Memes spread across Reddit, YouTube commentary videos tore apart the lie, and one viral post read, "The Rock's had 3 first times eating In-N-Out. Maybe he needs more tequila to jog his memory." What should have been a harmless fast food moment instead became another reason for fans to call him fake. And if small lies could spark such outrage, bigger ones would prove devastating. When The Rock transitioned into movies, his obsession with appearing unbeatable became impossible to ignore. Reports revealed that his contracts included a clause that his characters could never lose a fight. On the surface, it may seem like a minor vanity demand, but symbolically, it showed everything wrong with his Hollywood image. He wasn't just acting, but protecting a brand, ensuring that audiences never saw him as vulnerable. This obsession collided with one of the biggest failures of his career, Black Adam. The Rock spent 15 years pushing the film into existence, reshaping the story to transform Black Adam from a villain into a heroic, unstoppable lead role. He poured his reputation into it, promising fans it would change the hierarchy of power in the DC universe. But instead of sparking a revolution, the film was a box office disaster. Industry analysts confirmed that Black Adam needed to earn at least $600 million globally to break even, yet it stalled at around $400 million. Instead of admitting defeat, The Rock doubled down with yet another lie. He claimed the film had turned a $70 million profit and pointed to a Deadline article to back him up. What he didn't say was that the article itself was written with numbers The Rock's team had supplied, a PR stunt disguised as journalism. Fans and critics quickly uncovered the truth, exposing him for manipulating the narrative to protect his image. In the end, Black Adam became less remembered as a superhero film and more as an embarrassing example of a star's ego sabotaging a franchise. And yet, the most controversial accusations against him don't come from the ring, Instagram, or even the movie screen. They come from his body. At 52 years old, The Rock's physique looks sharper, bigger, and more defined than it did in his wrestling prime 2 decades earlier. That alone has fueled speculation. Fitness experts point out that even with world-class training and genetics, maintaining such a look past the age of 40 is nearly impossible without chemical enhancement. Rumors of steroid use, HGH, or testosterone replacement therapy have followed him for years. While The Rock insists his body is the result of discipline and 6,000 to 8,000 calories a day, nutritionists have analyzed the claim and called it virtually impossible. To sustain that intake, his diet would have to include heavy amounts of fat-rich food, which contradicts his image of strict, clean eating. Even if he somehow managed it, building more mass in his 50s than he had in his 20s defies natural biology. Fans compare old photos of his WWE days to his current physique, and the difference is staggering. Younger Rock looked athletic and powerful. Older Rock looks superhuman. For many, it's no longer a question of if he's enhanced, but how much he's hiding behind the curtain. The controversies continued even when he tried to do good. In August 2023, after devastating wildfires struck Maui, The Rock partnered with Oprah Winfrey to launch a relief fund. Together, they donated $10 million, but the announcement was paired with a plea for average people to contribute more. Social media erupted. Fans accused him of hypocrisy, asking why billionaires were asking working-class families to donate money they could easily provide themselves. One comment summed it up perfectly. "Math ain't mathing with this one. You guys literally have so much money. What should have been a moment of compassion instead became another scandal." To many, it looked less like philanthropy and more like a publicity stunt. Piece by piece, the image of Dwayne Johnson has been dismantled. The small lies, the big manipulations, the overprotection of his brand, the endless product placements, all of it has left fans exhausted. His Instagram now reads like a catalog, where almost 3 out of every 4 posts is an advertisement for tequila, energy drinks, movies, or fitness brands. What once came across as discipline and professionalism has started to look artificial and soulless. Fans have begun calling him Dwayne the Ad Johnson, a walking corporation dressed up as a human being. The tragedy of The Rock's downfall isn't that he failed as an athlete, actor, or businessman. It's that he succeeded too perfectly in crafting an image that left no room for authenticity. He became so focused on being indestructible, marketable, and inspiring that he forgot what audiences value most: honesty. Today, when fans look at him, they don't see a relatable figure. They see a carefully manufactured brand, a mask designed to sell tickets, products, and dreams. And while masks can shine under Hollywood's bright lights, they eventually slip. The Rock's downfall isn't sudden. It isn't one scandal, one bad film, or one bad lie. It's the slow erosion of trust, the steady accumulation of half-truths, exaggerations, and self-promotion that finally collapsed under their own weight. Every time he recycled a story about his life, every time he tried to spin a failure into a victory, every time he demanded his characters be untouchable, he wasn't just protecting an image, he was distancing himself from the very fans who built him. Downfalls rarely happen overnight. They unfold in silence through years of decisions that seemed small in the moment, but devastating in hindsight. One day, the audience simply wakes up and realizes the magic is gone. That's what happened with The Rock. His image wasn't destroyed in a single explosion. It crumbled piece by piece until nothing authentic was left to hold on to. So when audiences watch Dwayne Johnson today, they're no longer seeing a hero. They're seeing the slow, never-ending downfall of a man who wanted to be everything to everyone and ended up being nothing real at all.